Whoa, hello and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. My name is Cody. I gotta be quiet because I'm here in the Lost Valley of the Kings. Oh, oh. Well, he doesn't want to kill me at all. He just wants to play Valley of the Kings from AEG. Valley of the Kings from AEG is a fairly light deck building game for 2 to 4 players. It's set in ancient Egypt. Now, essentially, what's going to happen is the cards in this deck, and there's only about 100 cards. Like I say, it's a pretty light game. They're going to be separated into kind of 3 different tiers. There's Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Tier 1 are your starter cards. Tier 2 is going to be mixed up. Tier 3 is going to be mixed up. 2 is placed on top of Tier 3. That way, as you play through the game, the cards get progressively more powerful and more expensive. Now, what you're going to do is, from the deck, the main deck, the stack, I believe it's called, you're going to draw out 6 cards. But they're arranged like in a pyramid. You've got 1 card on top, 2 in the mid-level, and then 3 on the bottom. Now, when you draw a card from that bottom level, the pyramid essentially crumbles. A card from the center moves down, and a card from top moves there. At the end of your turn, you're actually going to refill that. So you've got this weird kind of pyramid thing going on throughout the game, which is kind of fun, kind of interesting as well. If you don't buy a card, you have to just kind of remove one of the cards anyway, throw it kind of into the bone pool, I believe it's called, which is kind of your trash area, and still go through this idea of the pyramid. So the pyramid also kind of acts as like a timer for the game. Now, on your turn, of course, you can buy new cards. Each card, of course, has a gold that you can then use to purchase the card for its price. And that way you put the card into your discard pile. It can come up again in your deck later when you reshuffle. But there's something else very important going on here. Now, you're going for victory points, but unlike a lot of deck builders, you're not going to score all your cards, like in, say, the DC Comics deck building game or Dark Gothic. You don't score all your cards, because another thing you can do on your turn is you can pick a card in your hand and you can entomb it. You place it under a tomb card that you have. And that tomb card essentially means those are the cards that are going to be scored in the game. But once you entomb a card, it's not going to come up in your deck again, so you're not going to use it. So you have to make that decision. Do I want to entomb this card for the points now, or do I want to use it to play? Because those cards, you know, may be pretty powerful. So you're going to go through this until the stack runs out, the deck runs out, and then everybody's had an equal turn. Meaning, so even if there's no cards in the pyramid, at least somebody will have a chance to entomb one of their cards. After that's done, you do scoring. Now, you score in a few different ways here. First of all, some of the cards just have a VP point value on them. So you know if that card's entombed, you're going to get that many points. But also, you're going to be looking at sets. Cards of the same color. But for every card of the same color that is unique, that is to say, you don't have 2 of the exact same cards in the deck, for everyone that is unique, you're going to essentially square the number of those cards you have. So let's say you have 3 different kind of blue statue cards. You're going to go ahead and you're going to say, well, I've got 3 cards that are in there, and they're each worth 3 points. They'll be worth each 3 points each, so it's a total of 9 points. If you had, say, 6 of the same cards, you'd have 6 cards there. They'd each be worth 6 points. It'd be 36 points. So it's very important that as you're playing, you kind of try to keep track of those cards you're entombing with the idea of how we're going to score this game at the end. It's a very, very, very simple game to learn and to play. So what do I think of Valley of the Kings? This is a very light deck building game, to be sure. The pyramid aspect of it is very interesting, the way the cards kind of crumble down, and you do use that as a timer. That's fun, and it's kind of thematic, you know, just kind of interesting. The cards themselves allow you to do fun things, fun combinations. They give you fun powers, and that's one of the big things I always look for in a deck builder is, do the cards let you do fun and interesting things? I think Valley of the Kings lets you do that. I think there are fun things you can do with the decks and the combinations of cards that come up in your hand. But I gotta tell you, the thing that makes this game stand out for me, the thing that I really, really like about Valley of the Kings, is that idea of entombing the cards. You're not going to get all the cards in your hand or in your deck, they're not going to be scored. It's just the cards that are entombed. And this forces you to make those tough decisions. Do you want to entomb those very powerful cards now? Because they're not going to come up again. You're not going to be able to have those powers of that card, but you're going to get a lot of points for that card. So do you use the card now, or do you use it later? Do you entomb it now, or do you entomb it later? How far do you want to be able to use that card and see it come up in your deck, and when do you put it in the tomb? You may have other cards that you want to put in the tomb later, and there may not be time later. So it's a very interesting game of of timing, and there's those tough decisions there, and I like that. I think that is very, very cool for Valley of the Kings. It's a really, really, really fun mechanic. Overall, I think this game succeeds. I think it's a fun, light, quick game. So I like this game. It plays about a half an hour or 45 minutes. It's not a long game at all. Just a fun. You're looking for a good, fun, quick, light deck builder. It's a good opener, I guess, for game night. Really, really enjoy Valley of the Kings. I think you will enjoy it too. So the recommendation for the discriminating gamer for AEG's Valley of the Kings is buy it. Thank you so much for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. We ask you to please leave a comment here on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on Facebook, on our webpage, www.thediscriminatinggamer.com. And also, we ask you, please, please, please like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. We are The Discriminating Gamer. And what? What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. My mummy is calling.
Somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't